I'm welcoming now Professor Dr. Dimitrios Buhalis, Bournemouth University Business School, and also director of the e-learning, or what's it called?
E-tourism lab.
E-tourism lab. So, you know, if you want to emphasize this, you just don't remember the name and then you have all the attention. The e-tourism lab. Professor Buhalis is one of the highest profiles in tourism research, many publications, an international speaker, and basically well known to the world. So thank you for being here with us today. From your focus of research, which is basically overall tourism development, but with a special focus on digitalization. So the pandemic has accelerated digitalization and has made us aware of relevant weaknesses in one way or the other. So how important is the digital visitor experience, digital advocacy, and the impact of COVID-19 from your point of view?
Thank you. I think this is a crisis unlike any other. We've never had such a difficult kind of situation to deal with. In tourism, we are very used to crises, but normally crises are happening for a short period of time, and then we're going to recovery. This has been a very prolonged kind of period, and we do not know when it's going to end. We hope that the vaccines that we're getting news every day are going to bring us the escape card so we can go away. Now, one of the critical things that the pandemic has done, as far as digital is concerned, there are two things. One is, first of all, it kind of forced everybody to operate digitally. Because we couldn't travel, we couldn't go to the bank, we couldn't do a lot of the things because of the lockdowns. So everybody had to operate in a digital way. And the second thing that's absolutely critical is the fact that everybody was looking for information. Can I go to Istanbul? Can I go to Vienna? Can I go to London? And what conditions am I going to find there? And that was creating a constant need for information, which was up-to-date information and real-time information. And as you know, this is my research about real-time information. A lot of people needed to find out what was happening at the destination, also what was happening at the place of origin, what was happening at the transit region, and what was happening at the destination. So you needed information in all three areas in order to be able to kind of think whether you can travel, what conditions you'll find, whether you need to do quarantine when you go or when you come back. So all of a sudden became quite complicated, and complexity required information. And information needed the technology and digitization to be able to update all this information in real time and engaging with everybody in the system to find out how we can travel safely.
So from your observations, and this is probably the first time that we have a lockdown or a crisis on the entire globe, right? It hasn't happened before. And of course, we have seen digitalization suddenly is the backbone of communicating in whatever. Would you say from your expectations that some destinations or countries or governments have had the wrong priorities over the past, so they didn't do so well in terms of survival?
It depends how long you like to go back, but we have what we call digital divide. We know that some societies and some governments are so much advanced in terms of technological adoption, and some other countries are not. We know that some of the Asian countries, like Korea, for example, quite a lot of China, a lot of areas are very technologically advanced. We know that Scandinavian countries and north of Europe is very advanced. And we know that some other countries, they haven't advanced digitally. But what we've seen during COVID is that everybody had to move forward and there was no choice. And we saw that most people actually raised to the challenge and they engaged with all the tools that we've got available, or they asked for help from others, like their kids, their relatives, to help them with digitization. because it became essential. If you want to see your parents, quite often you only had to be able to see them through Skype. So in that sense, we have a digital divide. That's a fact of life. But now what we've actually achieved is most governments and most of society moving to the new digital era and move things forward.
Well, with digitalization, it has become a kind of a buzzword. The same thing as we say, don't forget to breathe, right? It's just today they say we don't need a digital strategy anymore. We need strategies in a digital world because digitalization involves everything. To break this down for governments and destination governments and tourism destinations, what would be your advice as the final questions of where to focus in order to come out stronger of this pandemic?
Richard, I've been working for many years on something that we call smart tourism. And smart tourism is really about creating networks, using technology, creating networks and operating the tourism as a network. And you need interconnectivity and interoperability between all the other actors. So what we need to do is we need to go in a bottom-up and a top-down approach. Top-down, it's creating this infrastructure where everybody can plug and play. So you create e-tourism platforms which are connected with the e-city and the e-governance, and then different organizations are coming and plugging and playing. From the bottom up, you engaging all the different stakeholders to understand the tools, the technological tools that they've got available, and engage with those in a way that they can improve their own competence and their own ability. And then you create ecosystems where, at the destination level, organizations are creating networks and they work together and they enhance their own ecosystem capabilities and competitiveness. So the strategies come both ways. We are coming from top to bottom by providing the infrastructure, the incentives, the technology, and all of those things. And this is where the governments are really critical in playing that role. And from bottom up, we provide the incentives, we provide the technologies, the training, and the knowledge for every single stakeholder in this ecosystem to build their capacity, their competitiveness, and plug and play in the big system. And then what we're trying to do is we're trying to optimize the entire system, the entire network, to work together and improve the competitiveness of destinations, then in countries, and then the whole system.
In the approach to smart tourism, smart cities, would you say that there is a danger of creating activism and isolated area without seamless connectivity? Would you say so? And if yes, how to conquer this?
I'm not sure about activism and I'm not sure about isolation, but there is definitely an issue about digital divide of those people who are already advanced and they are moving towards that way, and those people and organizations that they are not advanced. And quite often when I talk to governments about these things, they keep telling me that the small businesses are not capable, while the big organizations, the Hiltons, the Intercontinentals, the Marriotts of this world, they are really embracing those things and they're moving forward, while some of the smaller business and independent businesses are not very advanced. In fact, what's happening is that you find a lot of small independent businesses equally advanced. It's a matter of leadership. Who is leading these organizations? And what is going to happen is that inevitably those who are capable of doing things are going to move to their competitiveness to the digital era. It's in the same way like, my mother used to go by donkey. She was in Greece and she was going to work by donkey. And those people who are still going by donkey, they've got a level of competitiveness. But those people who learn how to drive motorbikes, cars, tractors, and whatever else, they move to the new era. And it's the same thing with any technological adoption. We really need to support organizations and individuals to move forward to the new realities. And the new realities are moving, and they're not going to wait for people to jump in. So you really need to help those people who are digital disadvantaged to catch up with things and move forward. We're doing some research in Bournemouth University right now about aging and the old people and how they're engaging with technology and how we can give them digitization and how we can give them digital tools to be able to be part of the society. And this is exactly what we need to do across the globe. Identify those people who are vulnerable because they do not have the real tools. They don't know how to drive the car and they're still going the donkey. And understand how we are going to support them, either by teaching them how to do things or by creating proxies for them or organizations for them to be able to help them with their activities. So in some societies right now, if you are not capable of ordering online from the supermarket, you cannot actually go to the supermarket. So you don't have kind of food arriving in your place. And this is exactly the situation that we will have. And you're absolutely right to say that some people will be disadvantaged by that, but other people will be very advantaged. The trick is to find ways to support those who are disadvantaged to move to the new realities.
So if I wrap this up as a conclusion, you would say in order to advance in digitalization, there are two things important: credibility and commitment from the top, and also credibility and commitment from the bottom. Both have to be active, and ownership is a crucial ingredient to move forward. And then you constantly try to emerge and do the next thing and evolve. And that's a never-ending story. But the first step is probably the most important. Would that be a good conclusion?
Yeah, I think it's a matter of leadership, and we've done a lot of research on this, on the leadership of adoption of technology. And I think the minute that people are going through various barriers and they're going to the next stage and they say, yes, I can understand the opportunities that these new technologies and the new tools are bringing us, then they move forward and they're going somewhere. So it's a matter of leadership. And a lot of people are blocked by the fact that it's technology. It shouldn't. It's really about management and of innovation and adoption of technology. And then once you have decided that, then there are a lot of different mechanisms to actually engage in this kind of realities and move forward.
Well, that was a very interesting contribution, Professor Buhalis. I thank you very much. And I think our viewers will be very grateful to this, because digitalization, you have to visualize in precise matters what is the next step and what comes next. And you've taken out the fear of this quite substantially. Just embrace technology before it embraces you. Thank you very much. All the best, and talk again soon.